What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey ladies, how you doing today? As always, we are trying a new format, something a little bit different. We normally do this every Saturday at 12, and we normally do it through a voice chat, but I'm trying to change it. Copy one, two, copy one, two. Copy one, two, copy one, two. All right, we're back. There we go. All right. Sorry for that, you guys, but we are back. Yeah, but this is what happens when you want to try something different. You're gonna have delays and things like that. So I apologize. But we're gonna get right into it. So this is what we're talking about. We're gonna be talking about when women forget their place. And we're gonna try to restore God's given roles with each other because each, depending on the levels and where you are in your life as a woman, really dictate kind of somewhat the position you should be taking when dealing with other women. And I shouldn't have to tell you this. If you're a female, then you should already know, because almost every woman knows that we don't always get along, especially when we're dealing with each other. And if you talk to any women, most women, they'll tell you that they have very few female friends. We don't have a lot. We probably got enough to count on our hands, if that. And a lot of times it's like that because too often our relationships are filled with jealousy, they're filled with competition, they're filled with gossip, pride, they're filled with miscommunication, not being able to communicate with one another. And then somewhere along the line, we just lost sight of the roles that God has given us as women, whether we are elders, whether we are, younger, a younger generation, mid-age, like me, whether we are wives or daughters, we've kind of fell out of touch into the position that we are supposed to be in and what we're supposed to be doing for one another as women. And sometimes when we don't understand these roles, what can happen is they can collide with one another. And once that happens, oh, you just jealous of me. Oh, you just wish you could be me. Oh, you're trying to live your life through me. And a lot of these things can actually be true. They can be true and it can actually be happening. But these things taking place cause a lot of problems. And let's be honest, ladies, because I'm being honest. Women have changed. Can we say that? Can we say the grandmothers that we once had are not the same grandmothers they were before? Is that all right to say that? So, like, when I was younger, the grandmother that I remember, even though I didn't have a grandmother, I've never had a grandmother. Father was a foster kid. Mother parents passed before I was born. So I never was able to experience the grandmother experience, okay? But what I would say is what I would observe from other people's grandparents and what I would observe from the stories that I've seen and heard, grandma was the place you would go for refuge, for a good meal, for a nice place to see. Grandma was always there to tend to the children and to the children and come together as a family to just love on one another and be there for each other. And grandma was like law. Like when grandma said, I need you to do something, I don't care how tough and rough you think you are and was, you're going to do what grandma said. And grandma got respect. Grandma was, you could say, she's the queen of the house, of the castle. She kept that home. She kept that home. When you went in her home, it smelled good, looked good. It was always a hot meal to eat. And she was just always there to help and always there to give good advice. That was the grandmas that I remember. But the grandmas now, I know y'all see the memes and I know y'all see the shorts with the grandma saying, grandma ain't watching kids no more. Grandma ain't cooking no meals for y'all. Get your own kids, watch your own kids. Grandma's going out. Grandma is tired. Grandma ain't doing none of that. Grandma's going out. Grandma's getting her groove on. Grandma's living her best life. This is what a lot of what you hear from some of the women now. This is what you're hearing. And not just that, this is what you're seeing. So there's been a shift. There's been a shift in the older women. And what we don't understand is when you're an elder and you begin to shift. And people can say different reasons why. We can speculate, right? We could say, oh, well, it was a shift because the woman got tired. She was doing it all on her own. And we could blame the men and the men could blame the women. And we could say the system. And we could say a lot of things, right? But I don't want to do that. We could do it. I don't want to do it because that's not the focus on what we're talking about today. We're talking about as women, what is our role? What did God instruct us to do? Not what we want to do, not what we think we should do, not what someone else think we should do, but what does God want us to do? And what are some examples of us actually doing that? And I'm bringing all this up to say because I know it's damaging us. Because when a group of elder women decide, I'm done, I'm finished, I ain't raising who, what, teaching what to who? No, I'm not doing that. I'm done. I'm tired. I done did it for my own. Didn't do it for their own. I'm done. So the younger women, the mid-age and the younger women, they don't have that woman over them, that elder woman over them, that's saying, hey, listen, ABC. Now they out there just, okay, I'm gonna just do what I need to do and figure it out, I guess. And then they're figuring out the best way they can figure it out. And I'm not trying to throw all of it on the elder woman, but everything is like a dominoes effect, right? So we're gonna work our way down to what our elderly women should be doing with us women, and how us women need to be listening to the elderly women. Because yes, there are some really good sisters out there, elderly sisters out there, older sisters out there. I don't like saying elderly, but the verses say it a lot, so that's why I'm saying it. But the more mature women out there are trying to give us mid-age and younger women advice, and we don't want to listen. We hard-headed. We think we know everything. She don't know what she's talking about, and then we're losing respect for them. And then they don't want to deal with us, and it's just a whole big problem. And now none of us are in the roles we're supposed to be in. None of us are doing what we're supposed to do as women with other women, and it's not right. It's not right. So we're too busy fighting with man this and women that, when us ourselves can't even freaking get along with each other. We can't get along with each other. So one of the verses I want to go to is Titus chapter 2, 3 through 5. So Titus chapter 2, 3 through 5. It talks about the older woman to the younger woman. So remember, I'm talking about relationships that we have with each other and the roles that we're supposed to be in. So I have a particular role I need to be in, and you have a particular role that you need to be in, depending on where you are in your life. So let's figure out your role, and then you need to apply that role. So Titus talks about the older woman to the younger woman. And look what it says. The age, the older woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, teachers of good things. So we need our elder women to be holy and to behave. So if you're an elderly woman and you out there throwing it back, twerking, bumping, shaking, you hitting the club, you doing all this stuff, you don't need to be doing that. If you out here being messy, stirring up gossip, talking about he said, she said, and they said this and they said that, always whispering into somebody's ear, always trying to be up in somebody's business, always spreading somebody's business, you're not being good behaving. That's not good behavior. You're messy and you're too old to be acting like that. You're not supposed to be doing that. And not just that, you're supposed to be teachers of good things. If you messy, if you out there throwing it back, and you messy, and you gossiping, and you stirring up stuff, how you going to teach me something good? I'm not going to want to listen to you. I'm not going to respect you. And remember, you're supposed to be teachers of good things. But if you can't even maintain your own home and you just a hot mess and stirring up problems, there's nothing you could say to me. Now, it shouldn't necessarily be that way all the time, but that's just what it is. So your behavior will dictate the response that you get from the people that are underneath you. Us middle-aged women, we need guidance from other women. We really do. Yes, we have husbands and they're our head. And yes, we have our brothers and our grandparents, our grandfathers and stuff like that. But as women, the scriptures tell us that our older women are supposed to be teaching us good things. And it's going to break down these good things that they should be teaching them. That they should teach the younger women to be sober. Nobody's saying you can't have a drink. But you don't need to be drunk. You don't need to be, every time I see you, tossing it back. Every time I see you, you got a glass of wine, or you got some liquor in your hand. You need to be sober. And the older women are supposed to be teaching the younger women this. Yes, the elders are supposed to be teaching the younger women. Nah, don't, come on, baby. Put the glass down. And I get it, because sometimes between work, kids, and husband, you kind of feel like you need a glass. It says to love their husband. Lord have mercy. The elder women, listen to this, are supposed to teach the younger women to love their husbands. To love their husbands. You hear this? They supposed to teach us how to do that. How are we supposed to love our husbands? What does it mean to love a husband? They supposed to teach us that. Just a quick point I want to make. My time being married and raising children, I've learned that the way a man loves a woman and the way a woman loves a man, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. The best way you can love a man is to respect him. That's it. It's that simple. Seriously. Respect. If you respect your husband, you love him. They simple, very simple creatures. They just want to be respected. Now, of course, there may be some sisters out there a little bit more seasoned than me. We can add some things, take some things away, but from my experience, just respecting him is how you love him. That's all he really wants. But these elder women are supposed to be teaching us this. It said we got women out here telling them, you don't need no man. What you need a man for? For what? What you need a man for? What do you mean what I need a man? You supposed to be teaching me how to love this man. What you talking about? I don't need no man. You're supposed to be teaching me how to love him, but you're telling me I don't need him. You're supposed to be teaching me to love him. This is not my words. This is what God says. If you believe in God, you believe in the Bible. If you don't, then you're in the wrong place. You can go. But if you love God and you love the Bible, she is supposed to teach you to love your husband. Not that you don't need your husband. Not that you shouldn't depend on your husband. Not that you shouldn't, it's equal 50-50, like we're supposed to be. No, love. The elder woman is to teach the younger woman how to love their husbands and how to love their children. Yeah. Grandmas, older women, elderly women, you're supposed to be teaching us how to love our children. Yeah. So when you see an older woman coming to you, younger women, and saying, hey baby, look, you have a daughter. She's at that age. She's a teenager. There's different approaches you may have to take with her than you would have to take with a 5 and 6-year-old. So there's different ways to do this. I'm gonna show you how to love on her. Though she going crazy, cause you know how them girls are when they start going through that stages, that teenage. Oh Lord Jesus. But they're supposed to be teaching us this, right? We out here winging it. But some of us don't want to listen either, because some of us do have elder sisters out here that's doing their thing, and we young girls, we don't want to listen because we know better. You can't tell us nothing. So it goes both ways. It ain't elder women just drop the ball. We drop the ball because we don't want to listen. We don't want to listen to our husband. We don't want to listen to the elder women, and we don't want to listen to God. That's what it comes down to. To be decent. Decent. So you out here, then this goes both ways. Like I told you, the grandmas out here is starting it out, shaking it, popping it, dressing like they in their teens and 20s. Not that anyone should be dressing like that, but this is how they're dressing. How are you going to teach the younger women to be decent and to cover themselves up and to not have their skin hanging out and showing breasts and boongie and everything else? How are you going to do that if you yourself are doing it too? But then you're going to tell someone else they can't do it? It's hypocrisy. You can't do that. First way of teaching them this is to do it yourself. Lead by example. Set an example. Set an example. Lead by example. That's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to lead by example. Set example. That's what we're supposed to do. And honestly, we're not doing it. We're in Titus chapter 2, verse 3 through 5. Titus chapter 2, verse 3 through 5. We're also, elderly women are also supposed to be teaching our women to be virgins. Yeah. How many of you elder women are out there teaching young girls to keep their legs closed? To be honest with you, I don't go out of my way to speak to young girls and tell them, hey, don't be out there sleeping around. I don't. Now, I am making it a mission for myself. I've decided that when someone comes to me and starts telling me about their relationship that they're in, and if they're not married, I'm calling them out. I decided that I'm not normalizing fornication anymore. Fornication is a sin. If you're not married, you're having sex. You're in sin. Period. That's not your wife. That's not your husband. You ain't supposed to be doing the deeds. And I have conversations with these people about their relationships, and they come to you and they depend on you and they ask you these questions, and they look for guidance, and they in here working and living in sin, and we're sitting here giving them advice and telling them, well, baby, this is what you should do. No, you need to get married. That's the first thing you need to do, or stop having intercourse. The elderly women are supposed to be teaching the younger women to keep their legs closed. Keep them closed. Stop giving away your gift. Keep your legs closed. This one, the older women are supposed to be teaching the younger women to keep at home. Keepers at home. You know, not everybody know how to keep a home. I'm talking about keeping it clean, cooking, making sure the kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing, supporting your husband in whatever way that may be, whether it's, you know, mentally, emotionally, financially, whatever it is, support and help he might need, giving him that support. Making a home feel like a home, right? Keeping the peace in the home, right? Keeping us all connected. A lot of women don't know how to do that. Women nowadays don't even cook. It's the truth. And I know, you're going to say, well, we work, and I get it because I work too, and it'd be tiring, it'd be hard. But y'all know about Proverbs, right? It says she would go out and use her hands and she would work. She would get up before the sun was up. She would get up before her own servants, and she would make sure that they had food in their belly, clothes on their back, and was covered. Then she would go out there and bust her butt and come back home and do it again. She was like a crown on the head of her husband. We got it. We can do it. I've seen many women do it. It's in us. But we're being told that if you have to work and you have to come home and cook for your family, that's abuse. That you shouldn't have to do that. It's not right. Now, am I saying that a husband shouldn't help? Of course not. A husband should help. He should. Why wouldn't he? We're family. We're all here to help each other. But what I am saying is a woman shouldn't feel that feeding her children is a job. She shouldn't feel it's degrading. She shouldn't feel stressed out about that. You could be stressed out about going to work, but you shouldn't be stressed out about making a meal for your family. But it's become that. It's become draining, right? Work, no problem. I ain't calling out. I'm going in. I'm doing my 100% all. But when I come home, I don't want to do nothing. Cook for who? Who gonna cook for me? This is the attitude that we have adopted. When it should be the other way around. Keeper of the home is what comes first. Then the going out to help and to support the husband and the family. Because we're helpmates. That's what we're supposed to do. I don't know where this idea of women aren't supposed to be working and being home. Where did that come from? Women have always worked. I don't know where this idea that women just stayed home and did nothing. Women have always worked. Now, we weren't a part of certain workforces and we fought to be a part of that. And now that we're a part of that, now we're mad because we're saying, how are you going to make me do all this and do all that? This is what we wanted. We wanted to be a part of the workforce. We wanted to be a part of those jobs that those men, we wanted to do what they were doing. And now we're upset because people are still expecting us to do what God has called us to do. The older women are supposed to be teaching the younger women to be what? Keepers of the home. Called us to do that. We're supposed to be doing that. But we fought to go do this, and now it's too much, and we're upset, and we want to blame somebody. But the older women are supposed to be teaching the younger women to keep the home, to keep their legs closed. And this one right here, Titus chapter 2, verse 3 and 5, it says, obedient to their husband. That word is wild. I know some of y'all hear that word obedient. Listen to him. Be obedient to your husband. See, when you have a bunch of men standing over women and saying, be obedient to your husband and do whatever he says when he says, it can come off. People could say it sounds demeaning, right? It's not, but they could say that. But when you have an older woman which is what Titus says the older woman is supposed to do, is to teach her to be obedient. She needs to learn this. It's not something, apparently in some women, it's not inherently just going to happen. It needs to be taught. If it didn't need to be taught, I don't know why it would be here telling us that she should be teaching her how to listen to her husband. Right? We're supposed to be teaching that. The older woman is supposed to be teaching him to be obedient and to listen. That's all that's saying. It's just saying to listen to your husband. And you know, when you listen to your husband, he sees it as you respecting him, and you respecting him, he sees that you love him. It's all connected. That's what that is. But if you're not obedient, you don't listen to him, now he's going to feel you don't respect him. And if you don't respect him, he's going to feel that you don't love him. This is how men work. They're very simple creatures. And it says that that's the word of God. That the word of God be not blasphemed. The older women are supposed to teach the younger women all these things that we talked about. Being sober, loving their husband, loving their children, to be decent, to keep their legs closed, and to be keepers of the home and listen to their husbands, so that God's word will not come back void. So he's not a liar. So if you're an elder woman and you aren't actively doing these things, that's a problem. And I can tell you now, I'm middle-aged. But if I was to talk to someone 20, 21, 22, I'll be considered to them like an elderly type woman. I'm not elderly, but they would see me that way. And I should be, to a degree, teaching some of these things. And I can tell you that I'm not. At times I plant seeds. I plant seeds here and there in certain conversations. I introduce certain things. But overall, I'm not out here doing that. And that's a problem. And this is a big issue within the division that we have in the relationship between women and men. Because women aren't out here putting these women in their place. We're not teaching them what they're supposed to learn. We're not putting them in their place. And now these men out here is cutting up, and now it's causing a freaking gender war among us. But us as women, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. We're not calling out the things we're supposed to be calling out. We're not seeing the things that we're supposed to be saying. And we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're just not. That's just what it is. Whether we want to accept it or not. Older women are meant to be teachers of good things. That's what they're supposed to be doing. And many younger women today, they lack that mentorship, because that's what it is. It's mentorship. And they're not getting the mentorship. And because the older generation either doesn't want to step up, or they don't feel appreciated. A lot of times that's what it is. They don't feel appreciated. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing as younger women for our older women. They don't feel appreciated, and the younger women often reject the guidance because they think the advice that the older women are giving them is just judgmental. You're just judging me. It's what a lot of younger women think when these older women do come to them and try to give them the advice that they need. But God's word, it calls us to come together, and that we're supposed to bridge that gap and to rebuild these broken pieces in between these generations of women. We gotta fill in that gap, and that's the reason why we're having this conversation today, to try to build that gap. And what younger women must understand regarding with older women, when you look at 1 Timothy 5:1-2, it says, rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the elder woman as a mother. When an older person comes to you, you're supposed to entreat them like they were your father, or if they were your mother. So if an older woman is coming to you and telling you something, you're supposed to take that in as if that was your own mother speaking to you. That's what we're supposed to do as a mother, the younger as a sister, with all purity. We shouldn't be wrestling with that. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of older people will come to you and try to tell you these stories and things like that, and people don't want to hear it. They're like, oh, old people talk too much. Are you fools? They are full of wisdom, and that wisdom they are trying to give to us, and we're rejecting it because we ain't got the time. Because the generation we in now, everything got to be on demand right now. Press button, is going to come fast. That is the era that we're in. And it's not good. It's not good at all. Young women are to treat older women as mothers with respect and honor. That means to listen. Respect and honor, you have to listen when they're speaking to you. And you have to show gratitude for the wisdom that they're giving you, because if I'm trying to give you information and you're rejecting it, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to start being like some of the older women. I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time to be raising your kids you don't want to raise. You're out here having all these doggone kids by all these different men. You ain't trying to get married. You ain't trying to be a keeper of the home. You ain't trying to love a husband. You ain't even got a husband. And then you want me to sit here and just be taking care of your babies all day? No. I'm going to go live my best life. This is what a lot of the elder women are saying. And I, to a degree, can understand that. I get it. Because the world teaches independence. This is what we have to understand. The world teaches independence. The older women now are teaching the young women, be independent. You don't need no man. But that's not the truth. God says that they're supposed to be teaching how to listen to their husband. Not, you don't need a husband. So the world teaches independence. You don't need anyone. But God desires a community. If anything we're getting from this is He's trying to create a community. He's trying to get us women to come together as a community so that we can help each other. So we don't have to go through stuff over and over again and see these generational curses happening between us. Younger women need to be what? Humble. They need to show humility so that they can learn from those who walked before them. See, they been there, done that. They know. And they're trying to help you. But if you're not willing to humble yourself and listen, they're going to stop talking. They're going to stop talking. Women to each other, peers, like how we ought to be with each other, right? Because we talked about the older women, but even with each other, ask a woman, I'm not making this up. We do not seem to get along. We can't stand each other. It's very, very, women are very, very small in numbers when it comes to friendships and relationships. We don't kick it with each other like that. We just don't. But how we ought to be, if you look at Ecclesiastes 4 chapter 4, verse 9, it says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. When you work together, it's always going to be better. But for some reason, we cannot seem to do that. Because we too busy talking about each other behind our back, gossiping, trying to tear the other person down, thinking that the other person wants something from you, thinking that the other person is trying to hurt you, thinking the other person wish they could be you. Drama, gossip, nastiness. So we don't want to deal with it. So we don't even deal with each other. But somehow we expect men to want to deal with us. We can't handle each other, but somehow we think that a man is supposed to just deal with us when we can't deal with each other. It's crazy. Romans chapter 12 verse 10 says, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor profess to one another. We're supposed to love each other like brothers and like sisters. That's what we're supposed to do. But we're not doing it. I see it. I'm a witness to it. We aren't giving the love to each other that we're supposed to. Our relationships with other women should be built on cooperation. First, I'm willing to deal with you. I'm willing to do it. So first we're going to work together. And then we're going to be compassionate to one another. We don't need to think that we're comparing each other's beauty. Oh, she's prettier. No, we don't need to do that. There's no need to compare beauty, status, or even blessings. Oh man, she got a husband, kids, nice house, car. She thinks she's better than us. No, it's no need to have that type of heart and spirit and mind when dealing with one another. Because at the end of the day, we all have different seasons that we're in. You may have a time of a season of working on yourself, building yourself up and getting closer to the Most High God to be that wife one day. And someone else may already be the wife. It just really depends. What happens, and this is what I want to get to, what happens when we find ourselves not being in the role that we're supposed to be in? Because that's what we talked about. Peers, we have to be able to stop competing with each other. We're supposed to be helping each other, loving each other. Elderly women are supposed to be teaching us and guiding us, and younger women are supposed to be listening. When we don't have these roles, there are situations that take place, and we're going to go over some of them right now. Now, I'm not going to read the verses, I will reference them for you. The first one we're going to go over is Sarah and Hagar. And the most of you should already know the story of Sarah and Hagar. It's Genesis chapter 16, 4 through 6, and Genesis 21, 9 through 10. Most of us know the story already about Sarah and Hagar, but I'll break it down really quick. Me personally, believe that jealousy had to do with it. We know that Abraham and Sarah was told that they were going to have a child. But Sarah is older. She's past her time to be having children. And she even laughed when she heard it. And at some point, I guess she just didn't really believe that it was going to happen. Maybe it was taking too long. Maybe because of her age. Whatever the case may be, she didn't think she was going to be able to have a baby. So she told her husband to go into her handmaid, her servant, Hagar, and to have a baby by her, and that'd be like that's the child that they're supposed to have. And that's what Abraham did, trying to please his wife, doing what his wife said. I don't know when you men are gonna get it through y'all thick skull. Stop trying to please your wife. God always comes first. I know you want to make us happy, and that's all good. We want to be happy, but God has got to come first. He has to. He has to. But he wanted to please his wife, so he went and did it. And he had a baby with Hagar. Eventually, Sarah ended up having her baby, because God's word is not going to come back void. And then there was a situation between Hagar's son mocking Sarah when she was nursing her baby. You know, this older woman nursing this baby. I guess it was a sight to see. And let's be honest. Let's be real. I'm not saying it's right. But if you've seen an older woman, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, nursing a baby, that's wild. Like, anyone would be like, whoa, what is that over there? Now, we shouldn't mock, laugh, and joke and think that it's okay or whatever. But imagine a child seeing that. I could see that happening. Because it's something unusual. Whenever we see something unusual, we're like, whoa, what is that? And it could be anything. It can be a 90-year-old woman nursing a baby. It could be a 3-foot man. Whatever. It's not something we're used to seeing. It's not normal. We're going to stare. We're going to be shocked. And we're going to be amazed by it. And I get it. It's an uncomfortable situation to be in when you're the person that's abnormal. But this is the reality of human nature. It's going to happen. And that's what happened. And because of that, Sarah was pissed. She was mad. And she told her husband, kick them out. They got to go. So now imagine that. Sarah is an elderly woman that's supposed to be teaching Hagar how to love Abraham, how to keep the home, how to love her children. She's supposed to be teaching this woman. Instead, she's kicking this woman out. Told her husband he got to go. And they got kicked out. What is happening? This is what you wanted. You told this man to go and do this. Now you're trying to kick this man's. Now he can't. His son got to go? The hell? What's up with that? But that's what Sarah did. She showing up did. They got to go. I don't care. You talking about me. What's wrong with you? Get up out of here. But she made this choice. She wasn't being a good example in that moment as an elderly woman, as an older woman. What was she teaching Hagar in that moment? That's not good. Rachel and Leah. You gotta know the story about Rachel and Leah, the two sisters that married the same man. And how Leah kept having the children and Rachel couldn't get pregnant, and it was enviness, and they were being competitive with one another, going back and forth. Well, mostly Rachel complaining all the time that she can't get pregnant, and she was pissed and mad that her sister kept having them kids, and just the back and forth. It's not good. And I'm bringing these points up to say that we have to understand that us as sisters and as women, we really have a lot of power over certain things that take place within our home. And that when we are not building relationships and we're just breaking them down and destroying them, we could possibly break up homes and family. And children are the ones that's ultimately going to suffer. When we let our emotions rule over obedience, our relationships become a weapon instead of our relationships become a weapon instead of a womb. Women are designed to birth life. That's what we do, and we're doggone good at it. But it's not just the physical life that we give, but emotional and spiritual as well. See, we're emotional creatures. It's emotions that are constantly going through us all day, every day. We're feeling them, we're going through them, we're experiencing them. We have to learn to control those things, regulate them, live with them, and then we have to teach the ones that come after us how to do the same. And when we are not doing that, this is where everything just starts to crumble and fall apart. Everything. We take the influence that we have as elderly women, we take the influence that we have and we misuse it. And then we end up destroying relationships and destroying families in which what God meant to be something great. God meant for us to be nurturers, God meant for us to be lovers and givers, but we don't become that anymore. We become bitter. We become unhappy. It's not good. So we are supposed to be, our elderly women are supposed to be an example of holiness. And they're supposed to have dignity, and they're supposed to show kindness. And that's what we were reading about. They're supposed to be sharing their wisdom, not opinions. And sometimes opinions can be good too. But don't let your opinions, which comes from pain that you've been dealing with, that you haven't gotten over, overshadow the wisdom that God has given you through the life that you've lived. Right? We are not to do that. And younger women, we've got to learn to listen. When these women are coming to us and telling us, hey, listen, this is how you should do this is how you should do that. I did this before, it didn't work. Trust me, this is the best way to handle this. We have to learn to listen. To keep our families together, because we're fighting too much. When you read Proverbs 31:26, it says she opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Proverbs 31. When she opens her mouth, it speaks wisdom. So if your mouth is running as a woman and wisdom is not coming out of it, shut up. It goes for me too. Shut up. You're just talking crazy. And your talking is not helping anyone. It's just hurting everyone. It's breaking up and destroying families, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We are supposed to be building families. Middle-aged women, we're the bridge. We're the bridge between the elderly women and the younger women. It's a very tight place to be. We should be supporting the older women while mentoring the younger ones. We're that bridge to bring it together, right? Because we still kind of know the music and the sayings and the songs, and we still kind of are connected somewhat into the life that they're in, but then we also understand the benefits of what the elder women have shared and gave us, and we're going to try to find a way as middle-aged women to build it together and bring it as into one. We support the older woman while we're mentoring the younger women. We don't isolate ourselves, we build community. I understand you want to stay in the house. Trust me, that's my favorite place to be. But it's important that us as middle-aged women are being connected with the elder and the younger, because we're that bridge. Believe it or not, we're the bridge. We just are. It's just, otherwise the younger women won't hear what the elder women are saying, because they're going to feel like, you don't know what I'm going through, you can't relate. And the elder women are like, these young girls are out of control, it's no reaching them, it's no point. We have to show both groups that there is a point and that you can reach them. And if you got to use us to do it, we're here to be used. That's what us as middle-aged women should be doing. Philippians 2:3, let nothing be done through strife and vainglory, but in loneliness of mind let each esteem others better than themselves. We're supposed to be uplifting each other. We are not supposed to be breaking each other down. If that's what we're doing, then we're doing the wrong thing and we don't have the right heart. For our younger women and girls, you're to be humble and teachable. Someone got to be able to teach you something. You can't be so far gone this short time you've been here thinking that you know better, because you don't know what you're talking about. And I know what we may be saying don't make sense. I get it. I was there. It don't make no doggone sense. Trust and believe and know that these women love you and they care about you. And put your trust and faith and know, especially the ones that love and serve God. I'm not talking about any woman, because there's some women out there that are messy and nasty. I'm talking about the ones that really serve God, that really love God, that are doing these things to help better your life. Understand that you have to be able to be teachable. You can't be rejecting the things that they're saying and pushing them off and, being rude and disrespectful. You can't. You have to honor the wisdom of those who came before you. They were here first. They've been there. They've done that. They know. Trust me, they're not making this stuff up. And all you got to do is think about yourself like this. If you're 15, do you think the same way you thought when you were 10? No. Do you think the way you thought when you were 5? No. Have you learned stuff from 5 to 10? Of course. Have you learned stuff from 10 to 15? Yeah. So what do you think you're going to know in 40? If you feel you learned so much from 10 to 15, your eyes are open, what you going to know at 40? So you got to realize that we ourselves also have been there, experienced, and did things, and we know what we're talking about. We're not making this stuff up. You will have to also focus on building godly characters over social statuses, because a lot of the young generation, these girls, they're into the social media and all these things, and they want to be seen and they want this attention, and they're so busy trying to build their social media platform, things like that, that they don't even have real relationships within their community, within their relationships in their families. Younger girls, put the phone down sometimes. Have conversations. Talk with the women around you. Pick their brains. See what they're going through, what they've been through, what they know. And take that knowledge back to the other girls and share it with them. Because if I'm trying to reach you and I'm having trouble, imagine when you try to reach them. They may just listen. They may just listen. I'm going to wrap it up with this. This conversation had nothing to do with trying to bash or trying to break down or anything like that. There's nothing to do with that. I just want you to imagine if every older woman chose to mentor a young woman, if every young woman listened with humility, if every middle-aged woman stood in the gap and encouraged both of those sides, there would be a less competition between one another, and there will be more compassionate with one another, less tearing down and more building up. And that's what God intended when he was saying this sisterhood, that we're supposed to be helping each other and building each other and being there for each other. He was talking about building a sisterhood that's rooted in holiness and respect and in love. This is what he was talking about. When you read Psalms 145 verse 4, it says, one generation shall praise thy works to another and shall declare thy mighty acts. We are going to continue as a generation and a generation to continue on pushing that with one another and sharing it, so that we don't all have to keep suffering over and over and over again. And that was the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation was this, that we are so busy fighting this gender war with women and men that us women ourselves can't get a freaking along. We are not helping each other. We are not building each other. We are not supporting each other. And this is a problem. So the whole point of this conversation with us women was that somehow, some way, we got to get back to the beginning, back to the roots. And we have to start doing what we're supposed to do. Where are you at in your life? Are you young, you middle-aged, or you old? Older. Excuse me. Are you young? Are you older? Are you middle-aged? Where is your position? Where is your role? You figured that part out, which is easy. Now you need to activate it. You need to get in position and get in your role. And you need to get to work. Lock in. Let's make our community better. Let's help our young little girls, 3, 4, 5, and 6 that are coming up, to have a better chance than we had. And to have a better opportunity to have families and children and marriages one day. And to be able to just support them in any way that we can. Let's learn from our mistakes and let's try to move forward. Till then, thank you guys all for being here. As always, this is Let's Talk Podcast. I appreciate you guys for being here. Everyone that's here, leave a comment, leave a like. I want to hear what you think. What do you think about women and girls' relationships? Do you think that it's as strained as I think it is? And what are your ideas on how you think that it can be better? Also, remember, I'm working on that channel, Her Word Journey. Go on over there and check it out. I'll be sending this video over there. Till then, you guys take care.